Hey there, my name is Julie Voris, and I am a high school teacher turned fitness instructor, turned master trainer, turned kitchen table CEO. I started a business right here at this exact kitchen table 12 years ago. I became a fitness instructor 20 years ago, and then got into this, what I thought might be a side hustle, and soon discovered it was my true calling and passion, and that is to mentor women, mostly, in their health and fitness journey, and then help them help others as well. And over the past 12 years, I've made a ton of mistakes. I've learned a lot. I can tell you that I'm not the smartest or most creative or most techie, but I have managed to build a 7-figure income, create a lot of incredible opportunities and memories and experiences for my family, which was the point all along. Completely change our lives, transform our lives in the best possible way. And I've learned a lot along the way through those failures, those mistakes, all that, those life experiences. I've learned a lot. And one of the most important pieces I've learned is the power of the morning. And that is because so many women come into this business. And I am super passionate about helping women uncover and tap into their potential. Women come into this business with so many other things on their plate, and often they're the last item on their to-do list. And the more years I've been on this planet, the more years I've been in the business, the more years I've been around mentoring women, I have learned through personal experience and through watching others the power of the morning routine. There is absolute magic in what happens in the morning. And in this video series, I want to share with you why the morning is so important, how to set up your morning routine, how to stay consistent, what you need to have in your morning routine. And then I want to give you permission to tweak and adjust any of that, because it really is about finding a routine that creates magic for you in your life, in the season of life that you're in, that aligns with your goals and your dreams and the vision of the life that you want to create. But that can happen in that little magical oasis of time first thing in the morning. It really can set the tone for the rest of your day. And if you get up and intentionally create a morning routine that then feeds into an intentional day, and then you string together a bunch of those, you can intentionally create a life. Isn't that crazy how that works? So I hope you stick around for this series where I talk about mastering your morning. I think it could be a game changer for you. Welcome to Mastering Your Morning, video number 1. This is where it starts. Why is it even important to talk about having a morning routine? So I have to say, full disclosure, I am a morning person, but my husband is absolutely not. So I understand if you're telling me, but Julie, I am not a morning person. I cannot get up early. I am here to tell you that, number 1, yes, you can if you want to. But number 2, it's not as much about what time you get up as it is about what happens when you get up. So it's really about the value of the morning routine that you're creating that can happen whenever it works for you. So let's say you have no children, and yet you've got these goals, you've got these dreams, and it's just you. Well, the time that you get up might be different than someone who's got 2 or 3 littles at home, simply because if you have no children, there's just less draw on your time, right? If you've got 2 or 3 littles, so you got a baby and a toddler and an elementary school kiddo, there's a lot of draws on your time. So yeah, you're probably gonna have to get up early to accomplish that morning routine. So first and foremost, I want you to understand the morning routine is what's important. The exact moment of the morning that it happens is less important. For me, I've gone back and forth between, getting up at 5:30 a.m. There's been times in my life when that's worked for me. There's been times in my life when 5 has worked for me. There's been times when 4:30 a.m. has worked. And there's been times when 4 a.m. has worked for me. And all of those times are okay. There's no wrong or right time. But there is magic in the morning routine And that is the through line. No matter what time you get up, your life situation, the season of life that you're in will determine probably the time for your alarm. And whenever that goes off, I want this to be almost like an operating system that you turn on. Whether you get up at 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 8 a.m., I want you to think of this operating system coming in, you're flipping it on, and you step into it, because then that can create the rest of your day on purpose and with intention. And if we're not doing that, then what happens is we get to the end of the day, we get to the end of the week, we get to the end of the month, and we're like, where did that time go? Because the truth is, the time is going to pass anyway. It's going to pass. We all have the same amount of time, but what we do with that time, that can vary from person to person, right? So why do you need a morning routine? Because for most of us, that morning time is the time when there are just fewer draws on our time. And by taking care of us, we can take better care of everything else that happens the rest of the day. Whether that's taking care of children, taking care of an aging parent, taking care of your job, your pets, whatever it might be. It's really hard to pour from an empty cup. You have to fill your own cup first. And women have a tendency to put their cup on the bottom of the list. But in the morning, I can tell you from experience, nobody's calling me at 5 a.m. No one needs me to do a workout or a Zoom call or a conference call or a mastermind or anything at 5 a.m. That 5 a.m. time is just me. That's the time when I can feed my mind with intentional stuff to help me grow. It's the time when I can reflect on some gratitude and some goals that I have. It's a time where I can maybe get outside and get nature and feel grounded and centered. It's the time where I can take care of me. And throughout the seasons of my life, that get up time has been less important than the operating system of the morning routine. And it's probably not going to happen at the end of the day. By the end of the day, you have kind of exhausted your willpower. You've made a lot of decisions. Your brain is tired. And unless you're a true creative, someone who's really making art and exists in those wee hours of the morning, probably you're going to function better with more clarity in the morning. So sleeping through that magical morning time of clarity and focus, where you can truly set your attitude and your intention for the day, that's such a, dare I say it, waste of time. There was a study that was done, and I read this article a few months ago, and I shared it with the coaches on my team, that the normal person, the average person gets up, let's say at 7 a.m. And just by getting up at 5 a.m. and adding those 2 hours to your day, if you did that every single day over 365 days, it literally added like 2 months to your year. So instead of 12 months, you get like 14 months. Isn't that crazy? Just by getting up a little bit earlier. That's the magic that can happen in the morning. What can you do with 2 extra months or however much extra time that truly is? Well, that's the cool part, because it's up to you. Do you simply want to use it to read and to think and to center yourself? Do you want to use it to work out? Do you want to use it to meal prep? Do you want to use it to build a business? Do you want to use it to start a hobby? Do you want to write the next great novel? Do you want to paint the next great painting? Do you want to sit in the bathtub and just have a few minutes alone? It doesn't matter. What matters is that you choose what it is that you do with that time. But first, you have to give yourself the gift of the time. And once you do that, and once you start to understand the magic that can happen in the morning, you'll wonder why you didn't do it that much sooner. And it doesn't matter what time that is. It just matters that you have that operating system, that routine. So let's agree that the morning routine is essential. It will set your day with intention. And when you string together intentional days, you get to create an intentional life. I think that's the coolest part about a morning routine of any kind. Now, what should the morning routine consist of? How do you stay on track with your morning routine? How do you know what time you should get up? Like all those, what happens when the season of life changes? We're going to get into that, don't you worry. But for now, know there is true, real magic that happens in the morning. It just is. It just does. The house is quiet. Less draws on your time. Less people need you. The person who needs you in the morning is you. And you get to take care of you in those magical morning hours. And set up your day and set up your life. How cool is that? And you can actually add extra time to your year. You know, that sort of mythical element of time where we always say we don't have enough. Guess what? You can actually create more just by getting up a little earlier. So I hope I've encouraged you to understand the importance of a morning routine. Let's get into all the logistics of how to set it up, what to do, and all of that next. Stay tuned.